I might be sneaking a few bites of food in the meantime.
Well, you're gonna make me fucking edit that shit out, aren't you?
When we're not talking, I'm like,
I got some pretzels from Yardsmith's.
All right, man. Just welcome everybody to another episode here. This is BFF, Beer Fishing Fanatics. We have Fishing Kit, Grandy here at MaPop, and today we have special guest, Mr. Sean Tran, Saki Fishing himself. How you doing, Sean?
Good. What's going on, guys?
Everyone can see we're social distancing. I mean, we're not next to each other today, obviously. So we're doing our part, I guess you can say, following the rules. But I was able to swing by and do a package drop since this is beer fishing fanatic. So I was able to drop off some beer to Sean there at Saki Fishing, and also give Fishing Kit a beer that we're going to try today. So do you guys have it?
Oh yeah.
yep, right there.
All right, so today we are drinking Exile. It's a brewery out there here in Des Moines, Iowa, Central Iowa, and this is the Hannah. You can see, everybody can see. Once again, we are not sponsored by them at the moment, but this is a wheat ale. Was it a Bavarian style wheat ale? So 6% alcohol content. So let's crack it. Cheers, guys. So I'm pretty sure everybody in America is doing this social distance happy hour drinking. So we're just kind of joining in, right, guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Check. Here's the bottle opener that Trey got me, or Trey made.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Didn't he give you one?
No.
I got one.
Oh.
Well, as everybody can see, my buddy, maybe one day we'll have him on here, Trey. He doesn't support MaPop fishing, so bastard. Cheers, guys. Cheers, cheers. Sorry.
Cheers. Sorry, I'm struggling with with the opening.
Got a defective one. Just use the side of it.
Must be the guy who created it. That's probably the biggest issue.
it's because you didn't get one. That's why it doesn't work.
Anyway, so today I just wanted to bring Sean here from Saki Fishing. We'll talk a little bit about him. I already did an interview with him, obviously, at Mom Pop Fishing. But today, we're just gonna talk. I just want to get to know more about your products a little bit. Let's just talk about custom ice poles. Like I had somebody, I think one of my coworkers was asking me, is it really worth the money? What's the difference? They see all kinds of, whether you can go to a box store and get a ice pole for like $10-15, or do I get a custom pole for $100, $125? I've seen. So Sean, I mean, you're more, obviously have more experience, because you build them. Give us, I guess you can say, what's the pros and cons, man, of the custom ice fishing poles? What do you like about them, I guess?
I think the biggest thing is just being able to customize it. I mean, if you know how you like to fish, that's when you want to do it, because then you can get it down to your specs. The length you want, the action you want, colors, material, everything like that. I mean, if it's just someone new to ice fishing, custom rod probably not going to do them very well because they won't know what they want yet. But the more experienced guy, he's going to know exactly what he likes and what he wants to change with what he has, and that's going to be the biggest advantage there.
Because hey, how many ice custom poles you got now, man?
Let's see. I got 3 in my case right now, and I probably had 2 other ones, so 5 total.
What do you think the pros are?
I mean, just like what Sean said already, it's because as an experienced angler, you kind of know what you want in a rod. What type of action, how much power it has. I mean, if you know that stuff, I think custom's the way to go. Even if you don't, you just like tell Sean like, hey, I fish for this type of fish, and I like using these type of lures, and then he could kind of work with you and build you a rod.
I like to use the power noodle, and some people like, it's more of a sight fishing rod, I guess you can say. Which one do you guys like? What do you prefer? I don't know.
Just depends on the lure you use. I mean, if I'm using small tungsten jigs, then I'll use a noodle rod. because you got a real light jig. You want that real soft movement with it. If I'm using a bigger spoon, then you want a stiffer rod, which you could use a stiffer noodle, but carbon's probably the way to go there.
What's the difference between?
The noodles are made of fiberglass. They're not as sensitive to vibration. That's why it has a softer tip, because you want to see it move. You want to see them bite it. Where the carbon rods, you'll feel the vibration more. So you don't need a soft tip because you're going to feel it. You don't have to worry about watching it.
Do you guys like ice fishing more ever since custom rods, or is that just me, man?
I think so. I really do. Yeah.
Think about it, right? Because you put all this. I guess is a great comparison is what I tell people is like cars. There's some people who are completely into cars. Whether they new tires, new rims, or different things that they aftermarket parts they put to their vehicle because it's custom to what they like, right?
Yep.
So that's the same thing about, I think, in my opinion, about the custom ice fishing pole is because it's yours. I mean, it may not. It's something that it's just hard to explain. But that's like the greatest comparison I can do is like cars. Most people can understand that, so that's why I was kind of
yeah. Because every car will get you from point A to point B, but
yeah,
it depends on your style, really.
Well, that's a line and a stick. That's all you really need, right, Kit?
Yeah, when it comes down to the basics of it, yes.
See, but like you said, though, it's just having that custom ride. It's just something about it, and I think in my like I said, it's mine. It was tailored to what I like. It was tailored to what I wanted to do in regards to the action, in regards to how it makes the lure move and everything. So I guess you can say that's the reason why I like it. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, because they never really got into it more, but components of the rods. So okay, you got the blanks, you got the handle, right? And then you got the guides and all that. I mean, why is the shit so expensive?
All the expense really comes from the labor. I mean, it's the amount of time that gets put into it. That's the main part of the price. I mean, you can get a lot of the components for really cheap, but the amount of time you spend doing it and make sure it's done right, that's where the cost comes from.
Okay. So it's the customization of the pole then. It's like the labor that's what costs the most, I guess. Because, the reason, like I was saying, man, you can go to a box store and just buy a pole for like $10-15, right? And that's why I'm just curious, like, what's the biggest difference? Why is that cost so much? And that's I'm just kind of curious on that. So I have like 10 custom poles, I think. Hopefully my wife's not watching this or listening. Yeah, 10. Well, I'll blame the brother-in-laws first. They're the one who got me into it.
There you go.
But they did warn, man. Like, once you touch it, you never go back.
I think a big thing is just confidence. I mean, if you have a rod that you picked out that you think is going to work well for you, I mean, it's going to boost your confidence and it's going to make you catch more fish. Just like when you're picking out baits, if you think this color works the best, you might catch more on it. I mean, it's all confidence there.
That's true. I mean, you might as well have the best gear possible out there, right? Another thing I wanted to ask you a little bit more, just curious about custom open water rods. Now, I know that's something that you're going to be obviously carrying and starting to kind of dab into and do. The open water custom poles, like what are the types? What's the difference between that and ice pole? Ice custom pole.
I mean, they're really kind of the same. I mean, you still get your two main type of blanks, fiberglass or carbon, and it's still set up the same way. It just depends on how you want to fish. Like if you want to jig fish and you want to feel the vibration, you want to feel when you're bouncing off the bottom, you're going to want the carbon blank so you can feel it. Or if you just have like your fish for catfish or something, you just need something big and heavy and powerful, you're going to get the fiberglass because you're going to see the rod bend all the way over instead of just the tip of it.
Kit, do we talk about like the difference in action?
We got into the difference between action and power because people say like medium action, and I'm saying you're talking about two different things together. Like me.
All right, let's not talk about that because we went into it in quite detail a little bit, and I think we were a couple beverages in, and it just kind of went on. It's all right though, man. It happens, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're listening to this podcast or watching us, having a couple, if you're like one or two beers, you should be at least 2 beers in, then you can actually understand us, and you can at least understand where we're coming from in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Fishing. How'd you do today, Kit?
I went wading for the first time on the river, and I caught a couple pike, 2 pike, and 1 buffalo, and the buffalo actually bit my jig. It was on the fishing assault, the swim bait.
I'm hoping you recorded that.
But the name escaped me. The name escaped me. I was like, I'm gonna have to like insert it in because I haven't memorized all the names for all that stuff.
It's a swim bait, right?
Yeah, the swim bait.
All right. So this is advertising for one of MaPop's vendors. It's called The Prophet, by the way. The Prophet by Fishing Assault. You check out mompopfishing.com. Then you're gonna see that video, right, Kit? Well, you recorded it, so.
Well, yeah, I caught. Well, the first fish I caught today was a pike, and that was on the Prophet. And then I was cold. The water's cold. The water's probably like 50 degrees, and I wasn't ready for that. So I'm there like dancing, like trying to keep warm up my leg, like bobbing up and down. And then next thing you know, there's just a fish on my line. Like I didn't feel it bite nothing. I just started reeling, and then it was a buffalo. It was probably maybe like 8-pound buffalo, and the jig was in his mouth, so he ate it. I didn't snag him because I was just dancing around.
No kidding. Buffalo bit the Prophet, huh?
Yep.
Money well worth spent, fishing Kit.
Hey, some people would say buffalo are an underrated fish.
Hey, I don't care. A fish is a fish. When you're fighting them, you don't know what it is, man. And I'm assuming you thought it was a monster. Like, ooh.
I was like, I knew it wasn't a wiper because it was just heavy. Because wipers, they fight in a certain way, and same for walleyes. I was just like, man, but you never know because sometimes fish act weird. Like wipers, sometimes you're like, man, this doesn't feel like a wiper. Then like, whoa, it is a wiper. I was hoping it was one of those situations, but it wasn't. But I mean, it was still a fun fight, and I was standing in like waist high water, so that was fun.
How about you, man? You been out fishing at all, Sean?
Nope. We went. I think it was last weekend. We went for a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't catch anything though.
We saw you. You got outfished by your boss.
Yeah. It was 2-0.
2-0, man.
Yeah. Nice 5-pound plus wiper, and then that's a real small one, and I got nothing.
Man, you got nothing.
It happens, man.
Yeah, we were both using bucktails, but different colors. I had a white one, she had a black one, and the dark one worked better.
I'm guessing you should have used the ghost bucktail. There's a reason why I don't take my wife fishing, if anybody's wondering, man. Because there's a time when we're ice fishing in Denver, and if you ever ice fish with my wife, she has this stupid fish, dumb luck. I don't know, man. Catches everything. She out catches me, and it's just not fun. All right, a little bit it's fun, but then when she keeps catching, and you're like, it's all right, man. Anyway, so let's. I just wanted to kind of do this podcast, get Saki on here, Saki himself, Saki Fishing. You know, get to know him a little bit, find out how Kid did fishing today, because just so everybody knows, I live my fishing life through Fishing Kit, because I have 4 daughters and a wife sometimes, so I don't get to go out as much, so I have to ask him and see how he does, and just kind of live through his fishing expeditions, I guess you can say. So
I think vicariously is the word, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the word. See? But anyway, so just wanted to say thanks everybody for joining us on this episode, and we'll probably do another couple episodes with Sean here, and we'll definitely have some others coming up here. So join us on this the next episode as we continue to do the BFF podcast, the Beer Fishing Fanatics. If you guys like, definitely comment, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, upcoming episodes, things like that. We'll definitely discuss what we can, and we'll definitely enjoy beers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.